I know that term from the rap world, like based, but I didn't know what based means. But I've heard it used a bunch of times, and it's always a positive. Based is all about being yourself and not caring about what anybody else thinks. I don't care. I'm based.
Petty for president, racing and leveraging, facing competitors. I'm not the regular. Petty for president, you are not ready yet. Serve and I represent, trust me with all respect. Petty for president, move and protected, yes. No losing delegates, seats in my home expense. Petty for president, black me my leather, yes. No speech impediment, TV like Letterman. Petty on podium, powerful president, seal as a rocket.
First and foremost, thank you for coming on, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate you taking the time your weekend to come and join the new podcast. You're kind of my guinea pig here, and
I mean, I can, how fortunate for you to have such a great first guest,
dude.
Right?
I mean, that's what I wanted to kind of get into, so this podcast is because you get a lot of content creators. We're always talking about, the actual politics and things going on in the world. And people don't get to know the people behind it. You probably don't. I mean, you're kind of joking about it, but you're a really influential guy. If you think about it, you probably don't think about yourself that way.
No, absolutely not.
But you must have had them. I see you everywhere. You know what I mean? I remember the first time where I saw your page, because everywhere I'm seeing your memes. So you're doing what you're thinking is shit posting, but you're actually putting ideas in people's heads, which is influencing the conversation. You know what I mean?
That's why the CIA pays me so much money,
And I remember
that's like the level of success that I hope to obtain someday, is that start getting accused of being like a controlled agent, for the CIA or something. Like that's my mark of success.
So, because I kind of know your background, so I kind of know the answer to this, but I want the peeps to know. Because I remember when I found your page, I think you had like 7,000 followers or something at the time. And then I scrolled to because I just kept seeing the name is fucking genius, mostly peaceful memes. That is absolutely genius. You absolutely struck gold with that. The content is great. It's funny. And so I remember when I found your page, because I just kept seeing the memes everywhere, I scrolled to the very first meme and I was like, okay, this guy's been doing it for a while. Like, these aren't noob memes. So how'd you get in the game?
I mean, I've been shit posting since shit posting was a thing in 2008 with Rage Comics and stuff like that. And just fucking around on Reddit. Are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
To keep it fair. Okay.
No, dude, you can swear. I mean, my other one's way worse.
I was in the military, so I have a really bad mouth.
You're good.
I'm trying to work on it, but yeah. Anyways, so I just always just shit posting and trolling people online and stuff like that, and used to fuck around on Reddit and Imgur and stuff like that back in the day, and then used to. I would say kind of started making political memes more probably around 2016 election timeframe. Not super consistently or anything like that, but just especially the Donald on Reddit. I used to hang out on there quite a bit. That was a good time. It's too bad they killed it, but and then when did I start the page? A year ago, but kind of 6 months leading up to that, kind of Richard Rap Boy kind of kicked off. And I kind of started following him early, and I just bullshit with him a lot in the chat and send him memes. And then he was the one that was like, you should start a page. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think my stuff's that good. And he was like, no, you really should. And so he's kind of the one that got me started.
Yeah, that dude is as solid as they come, because he was kind of my window into our whole world, because I was dating this girl at the time, and she's telling me, oh, you can't say that, you can't say these things. And then one day I just kind of started firing away, and then all of a sudden I got tagged in a meme. I would see my memes get stolen everywhere, and my shit just was not growing. Then all of a sudden I got tagged, and I saw this page, Richard Rapp, let me click on it, and I think he had 30,000 followers at the time or something like that.
Yeah.
And so is he kind of how the Patriot Meme Alliance came about? Is he kind of the centerpiece of all that, or?
No, that was Grand Old Meme's idea. So that's his baby. There's been kind of people come in and out. We've had a pretty stable, or I don't know, like and I think they picked me up maybe like last summer ish, after I was a couple months into it. And then and then I think we added that Southern dude, and then it's been pretty consistently that.
He's coming on I'm doing an interview with him on Sunday too.
Oh, so, nice. Yeah, he's super good people. We've been like floating around, like doing a podcast ourselves and stuff. And just,
that's dope. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, man. That's what I really want, is just more people, creating more cool shit.
Yeah, I think it's too, man. It's just fun. Like, just kind of getting the bullshit and share ideas, and it's kind of a cool way to like create community and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I didn't know that any of this even existed. Like I said, because then I started, developing internet relationships, with guys like you and like Rat Boy and, people like that. And
no, yeah, it's like, it's weird, but it's cool.
No, yeah, it's definitely awesome, because I always felt like this crazy person. I always felt like it was, okay, I can't be saying these things. I shouldn't be saying these things. People get offended. It's not like I ever cared about offending somebody, but I just never knew that there was a quote like, market for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's, you can't offend people now. So it's, it's like the contrarian thing, right? Is like, just say offensive stuff for like the sake of it. Or just like to garner reaction out of people. Cause like, people don't seem to have much tolerance for anything outside of their like left and right limits.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, it's like, now if you just like were, I don't know, like center of the road 10 years ago, like if you just say the same thoughts you had back then, like, it's, you're shit posting now, because like you can't say that, man. It's like wow, you're pretty extreme. Like I literally haven't changed my views, and like, or if anything, I've probably gone a little more libertarian and like middle of the road on some stuff, where it's over the last like 10 years, where like, where it's like now it'd be like you're super far right, and it's like just arguing for like natural law and stuff, man. Like that's pretty like,
and that was
pretty basic concepts.
That was going to be one of my main questions for you. You kind of got into it naturally, but I was going to ask pretty much what you're, if you've always been a quote right-leaning guy, or, I mean, I don't know if you feel comfortable answering this or not, but for instance, who did you vote for in 2008?
2008. Yeah, that would have been like the first election I would have been able to vote in, because I turned 18 that year. So I voted for McCain, regrettably, but like Obama wasn't the better choice, was like the worst choice. So, I think like I kind of started out just kind of traditional, kind of right wing, Christian conservative, and then have kind of turned into, I don't know, like semi-libertarian, definitely like, I definitely believe in like traditional like Christian values and stuff like that. It's, my faith is something that's important to me. But at the same time too, right? Like, that definitely guides how I view stuff politically, but at the same time too, right? Like, I, also understand not everyone thinks that way, or at least thinks that way out loud. So, there's got to be like a balance of stuff, but at the same time too, like without going too deep down the rabbit hole, like
you're good, bro.
Our whole constitution and society and like all of Western, what we call like Western liberalism, is based off Judeo-Christian values and the idea of like transcendent morality, and the, things are right, a God or whatever you want to call it, sets what's right and wrong. It's not dictated by society, and that's really the, what you're seeing right now with how the turmoil stuff is the left doesn't believe that, right? They believe in relative morality, which is that, society dictates what's right and wrong. And so, and that's really the crux of everything. What it boils down to is the two opposing ideas of transcendent morality and relative morality, and like, they can't coexist with each other, right? Like sorry.
No, you're good, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just so it's just really interesting. And then do you feel like it's always been this divisive? Because I used to be a straight up libtard. I mean, straight up. I mean, growing up, I voted Obama in 2008. I think it's because I grew up out in the country and I liked hip hop music and I wanted to be different. It was like my way of rebelling is going against.
Was it like, was it like Churchill said, if you're not liberal when you're young, you don't have a heart. And if you're not conservative with it when you're old, you don't have a brain or whatever. Like,
right. And that's what I find so mind blowing, because I feel at my core that I've never really changed morally. I just feel like, and I hate the word society, but I feel like there's been such a shift in just American culture where it's like Elon Musk, he posted that meme where it's a dude standing in the center between, the left and right. And then all of a sudden everything goes completely left. And then the guy in the middle is like, okay, now I'm a crazy right winger, because that's how I feel. You know what I mean? Like,
that's 100% what happened. Right. I mean, like the left polarized super far, and like, so, what is it? It's like in nature, equal opposite reaction. Right. So like one side polarizes, well, the other side is going to start to polarize too in reaction to that. But like it's definitely the left that has done that, because it goes back to, right, it's the rise of postmodernism in America. And there's people on I would say there's like people on the right or Republicans too that are as well postmodernists, and that's really the split you're seeing, is the postmodernists and kind of the traditional, Judeo-Christian, again, it goes back to that relative postmodernism, which is relative morality, Judeo-Christian, values that is, transcendent. And that's the split you're seeing now. Like we call it left and right and all this stuff, but like
it's beyond political at this point.
Yeah. I think, it's, well, that's the thing, right? It's the ultimate question of a society, right? Which is how do we determine, what's true? How do we determine what's moral and good? Right. So like, if you can't agree on how you determine that, like you're not going to get along. Right. Like,
have you seen,
you're talking in two different languages.
What's that new documentary?
Matt Walsh's.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I've seen clips. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet. I've just been super busy with stuff, but like, it like that video clip of him, where he's asking the guy like, what's true? And he's like, what do you mean by truth? Like my truth? Like, I'm very uncomfortable with that. It's postmodernism in a nutshell, right? Which is, I
think you actually posted that, didn't you? I think that's where I actually saw that. Okay. Yeah. That's where I saw that. Cause I saw that clip specifically. And I was like, God, I got to watch this. But so I want to talk a little bit more about you, because that's, that was kind of my MO here. And
sorry, I go on tangents.
No, you're good, dude. It's beautiful shit. I didn't mean that in like a negative way in any way.
No,
I just want, like I said, because I think it's natural, because I'm wired very similar to you, for us to go down these, I don't want to call them rabbit holes. That's got like a negative connotation. You know what I mean? But I think it's interesting for people to get, because like I said, you don't think of yourself as like this influential person, but at the end of the day, you are. You know what I mean? You're putting out information out there that's helping people decide where they stand morally, because they ask themselves questions. And that's why I want to get to know these people behind the content a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
And so are you ever concerned with putting your face out there? Because this is kind of a newer thing for you, isn't it? Kind of putting your nuts on the table.
Yeah, I've peeped it here and there, and like, it could probably come back on me, but I'm just to the point I don't care anymore. like they've I don't know, like there's how absurd stuff has gotten, like it's pushed me to the point. It's like, I don't care. Like, what do you, especially after the last 2 years of just like being stolen from us, with all the, tyrannical lockdowns and stuff like that. It's just like, what are they going to do, man? Like,
is it safe? Because I know I do. I 100%. I mean, I always question my beliefs, and I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong, and yada yada yada. I don't mean to sound like some virtuous cunt, but I 100% feel like I'm on the right side of history. You know what
definitely.
I mean? And that was
Like,
kind of a deciding moment for myself, because for a good 2 years I didn't put my face out there because I was still in my head about, repercussions or whatnot. But as you see, I mean, you saw it with, I don't want to say the word because the video will get flagged, but like the V word, or like BLM buying these mansions. So it's like all this shit that we were 2 years ago, we were shit posting, getting stuff deleted for saying the things that are just universally true now. So somehow, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, we're these blah, 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 but it's like somehow we've tapped into something where we just, you open up that eye and you realize what the fuck is going on. And a lot of people are getting there.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I think like, it's been a process for me too, right? Like kind of making that transition from, kind of growing up, like kind of traditional, like Republican, conservative, whatever. And just like getting some more life experience and just watching stuff going down. Right. I mean, like back to like the, 2016 election and just, the 2020 election with all the stuff that happened there was,
dude, we were all getting nuked.
It was just like, I think it was a big eye opener, and just like the extent of, how far stuff went, where it's like, oh, wow, no, like this is real. And like, they will just do stuff out in the open and then just gaslight you and be like, oh, that didn't happen. And half the country is like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's mind blowing. And you don't, if you don't want to, but you have a kid on the way too, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, first and foremost.
Man.
Yeah, my buddy just texted me like 5 minutes before we got on here. My buddy just had a kid too. It's my brain was all like,
oh, really?
There's so much going on right now. But
that's super exciting.
Yeah. Has that changed kind of your, do you have even further concerns and even more of a mission to kind of put some brakes on this bullshit that's going to be influencing the world that your kid's going to be growing up in?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think already like my motivation for a lot of stuff is just like, I have friends that have kids and stuff like that. And, it's just like, what kind of world are they going to grow up in? Right. And then it's like, now that I'm going to have one, it's like, man, like that's game changing. I'm still kind of like processing it all, where I'm like, dude, I gotta be an adult and like buy life insurance and stuff. And like, like I can't just be slumming around, like, like passing out on my friend's couch like I did last night.
Got to get it in while you can.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So no, I think it's like, what kind of world do you want to live in? Right. And like, I think it's worth fighting for truth. It's worth fighting for, what's right. And, it's not easy. It sucks. Like, I don't enjoy it a lot of the times. Like, getting hate DMs or just, all that stuff. And
isn't that just the weirdest shit? Like that. Yeah. I never, it's weird when somebody, you have no idea who this person is and they just send you just the most like kill yourself type shit because like you're just trolling about something. It's like, wow.
I kind of enjoy it. Like, it's like their tears are what give me strength. But like at the same time too, right? It's like you were talking about like, pretty sure being on the right side of history. And it's like, I think that's like my sanity check with like, cause I think I have a healthy amount of like questioning myself and what I think. And like, kind of constantly kind of reassessing myself and seeing if I'm on the right path or if I've kind of deviated off of that. But it's like, I think kind of my sanity check is like, I literally would love to just be left alone and just like mind my own business and just not have to do any of this. But like, it's gotten to the point where that's no longer an option, right? Like it's, it's no longer just like, it's Pride Month this month where, it's like, oh, they just, they just want to live their lives and just let them be, to now where it's like, if you don't stand and, holding a gun to the back of your head, you better stand and clap because it's beautiful. Like, it's like, dude, I just want to live my life and be left alone and like chill. But
the reason I have so much respect for you too is because you've never been afraid to go against, I don't want to say go against the grain, but what's the right word? I mean, like for instance, you'll shit on Dan Crenshaw, you'll shit on the cops, you'll shit on military vets, like you'll shit on people that are, perceived to be like on your quote side or whatever, what I mean? But like you'll call out the bullshit in your own sphere, and I really respect that about you, because that's,
I mean, if you're not going to be intellectually honest, like what are you doing? Right. Like you're just more part of the machine, I guess, where, you're just kind of that pick a side and like, that's your team. And like, no matter what happens, like you bet, that's your team. So you can't go against your team. And it's like, no, I'm just on the side of like truth and, sanity. And like, if I probably, I'm sure I'm wrong at times too. And like, if I would hope people would call me out too, if I like started posting some bullshit or pushing dumb ideas.
Well, and I think that's why, because I mean, you've popped off. Like it's, I mean, I literally everywhere, every time I get on, and it's not even a lot of times directly from you. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure the algorithm kicks your shit my way because we interact and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I see your posts everywhere. And I think a big part of your success and why you're going to continue to grow is because people see the authenticity in what you're doing, and that you're always honest and you're not just one of these people that just, I remember when I first, because I kind of rejected, like when I first started making the quote based content, I didn't really know what I was doing. Cause like I said, I didn't know the community existed. I was just speaking the shit that was in my head. And once I started seeing these like very far right wing type accounts pick up my shit, I was really fighting it because I didn't want to be associated with.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to be associated with that. And so I was really fighting to not be like boxed into a side. And I think it's kind of working out for me, and it's slowly starting. And my shit's a little more abrasive than yours. But
yeah, well, at least on like Instagram, I've tried to like find the happy medium of like where I can like not get like nuked and like continue to grow as like an account, but like still
you found your voice. You found your voice really.
Still keep it real.
Yeah. And it's just, it's impressive. And like, I guess what's your advice for somebody? What's your advice for somebody that's kind of getting into the content of the digital space that wants to either do memes or, what advice would you give to the guy with 200 followers?
Just don't do it. It's such a waste of time. I hate myself half the time for it. I'm just like, this is so lame.
Are you addicted to it?
Oh, I mean, it 100% is like, that's like social media is 100% addictive. It's definitely like the casino, playing the slot machine and like pulling the lever and like all the lights, lights. And it's like, seeing how many likes you got and stuff like that. Like, it's like, it's definitely addictive.
I've been definitely trying to pump and dump more, just like turn out content, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm trying to do this. Like I'm trying to do not necessarily social media, but digital media. Like I want to do it full time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to be able to, because I feel like it's important. You know what I mean? It's not just shit posting. Like I dabble in the comedy world, I go and do stand up and shit like that.
Yeah. That's dope as fuck that you started doing that, man. Like I wish I had the balls to go do that.
But the thing about it, man, I don't love it as much as what we're doing over here, because what we're doing over here, I feel like there's actually a purpose to it. And then versus when I'm just I'm just being silly. I kind of feel like a dancing monkey. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to like combine those worlds and try to find a way, because I'm addicted to like the creative process. I love talking to people. I love, I love existing in this space. I just wish we didn't have, the company's coming down on us and nuking shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's the thing that like sucks the most is like, it stifles like creativity, right? Cause like, you kind of have to like be able to go over the line at times and stuff like that to like, be artistic and create or,
Were you when you sorry, I'm looking at the thing here because, like I said, the wonderful people at Zoom, they're only give us 40 minutes. Were you kind of surprised when you started popping off at, and I know you got a girl and all that, so don't say anything incriminating, but were you kind of, because I was very surprised. How do I even word this question without sounding like a huge tool bag? Did you find it hilarious, like the meme chicks about like, did you ever get girls sliding in your DMs early on? I'm sure they do now for sure, but you know what I mean? Yeah,
I definitely like had a few and stuff like that. And like, I don't know, man, like it's whatever. I don't really care. Like, it's just like some, it's like some random person from the internet, like trying to slide in your DMs. And like, it's like, there's probably says something there that, would be wise to avoid, I guess is a good way of saying it.
Dude, I thought it was because I was like, wait, chicks like memes? And then I started posting my face more and more, and then that started to fade away more and more. I think it's that's
why you stay anonymous, right? Is like, it's like the allure and the mystery. It's like,
the mystique. Like, who's the guy behind?
He could be handsome. Yeah. Probably not, but
I remember when you posted, you were coming up on the 10K and you posted the thirst trap.
Yeah.
The internet doesn't forget, dude.
Yeah. No, that was like the gambit to like get to 10,000 was, it's like, I'll post my face. I'll post like cool photos or whatever, like just get me to double digits. Like
I was dying, man. It's just crazy. I mean, it makes sense, because it makes sense. Everything you've done, why you've popped off so hard. I'm really happy for you. And I hope it gets to a point where, you say you're not really relying on this, but I really hope it does get to a point where you can, build something really dope out of this. So what's kind of the gist for the podcast? You said it was you and a Southern dude working on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, or you kind of keep it on the low?
I mean, we've just been kind of floating around the idea, it's like super, super original idea, start a podcast. No one's done that before. I don't know, kind of like we've been kind of floating around ideas, kind of like where you do, kind of trying to, with this one, kind of coming at maybe a different angle, like either kind of look like you're kind of doing, looking at the people kind of who are like behind the content, or just, just kind of doing just like general variety of just like talking about memes, talking about, what's going on, and just, I don't know, just some friendly banter that's maybe kind of interesting to listen to.
I feel it, dude. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be one of your, cause I always want, it's weird to me when people, and maybe I'm biased because I'm usually the guy doing shit and none of my friends listen to it. It's always so weird because the people I know in real life just don't fuck with anything I do. But then I got, a bunch of strangers being like, hey, I love this and that, blah, blah, blah. I prefer, like my favorite musicians are my friends. My favorite podcasts are my friends. I mean, so I always get excited when I hear that people that I actually know are doing stuff. I don't understand these people like wishing celebrities happy birthday and shit like that when your friends are doing cool shit. You know what I mean? So
it's like the whole like celebrity culture thing is bizarre. It's like people care so much about someone you've like never met and like never will meet. And like, it's seems like a lot of wasted energy.
Yeah. I just want to make sure, and because we're kind of running down on time here. So anything you want to plug, my dude?
Shoot, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah, no, I just got the message.
I'll plug the Patriot Meme Alliance, Grand Old Memes, that Southern dude, American Manta, Richard Ratboy, What I Mean to Say, Silent Meme Jordy. I feel like I'm definitely forgetting someone.
All y'all need to come on the podcast, by the way.
Anyways, all the guys from the Patriot Meme Alliance, check my posts. They're all tagged in there. Grand Old Memes. I don't think I said him.
Grand Old Memes, the OG.
The OG, dude.
Yeah, he needs to follow me, dude. He doesn't fuck with me yet.
No, man, I love your content, dude. Like you post some funny stuff, and like I like to, you just kind of post a variety on stuff. It isn't always like political or whatever. It's just, it's just fun.
That's that, dude. And it's funny because I fight it. I fight it so hard. And that's how I kind of feel like that's how you know what your purpose, like your purpose just kind of finds you. You know what I mean? Like I just want to be, I don't ever mean to offend people. I don't ever mean to like, I do like to troll. So that would be a lie if I said that. But my whole thing is like, I just want to laugh and have a good time and have a message behind my shit. And it's like, I try to not be political, but it's just the world. It's the world we're living in. Like, how do you, what am I supposed to do? Just make get on stage and make fart noises? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like impossible.
No, I mean, like that's all you can do. Right. Is like, I think I'm probably the same way where just like, I just enjoy laughing and making people laugh. And, and then, I also enjoy politics and stuff like that. And like, so if you can kind of combine the both of them, it's, it's just having fun, and, it's honestly like it's therapeutic for me, right? Like it's kind of like, it's very frustrating sometimes to see all the stuff going on. So it's kind of like how I vent or whatever, is like making memes and making fun of stuff.
And you're doing the Lord's work, man. And again, I really appreciate you coming on, dude. Really appreciate you taking the time. I feel like that 40 minutes, we got 4 minutes left. I need to I'm gonna have to have you come back on. I need to upgrade this shit so I can go past the 40. I didn't know that was a thing until like an hour ago.
Yeah, I had no idea either until you just told me. Like, oh shit. And then maybe we can Skype next time.
I've never, it's funny that I'm doing this podcast because I'm such a like if somebody ever just Skypes me or tries to FaceTime or something like that, I was like,
absolutely not.
I never do it, but
no.
But I'm really glad you came on, dude. It's for the love of the game. It's for the culture. And really happy for you and your girl. Happy you got, congrats on having the baby on the way. And
thanks, man.
Big things to come with the mostly peaceful memes and just nothing but respect to you, dude.
Same here, man. Super fun getting to like chat in person finally. And like, I always like bullshitting with people. So
yeah, good shit, man. If you're ever down in Texas, hit me up and we'll go grab a beer, dude.
Same thing in Colorado, man.
All right, brother, man. Well, we'll be in touch and thank you again, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
All right, later, dog.